And we are live.
What's up? Good afternoon, or should I say good evening? Got my days mixed up, man. Or my times mixed up. It is Sunday night. Comics with Rich. I got my man Paul with me tonight. We are going to chop it up in a little bit. I hope everybody is doing all right. We are here one more again, and want to thank Paul for helping me host tonight. It's an honor.
Oh
Privilege to
man,
have
the
my
honor is
brother.
completely mine, bro.
Yeah, I appreciate you, bro. So what did you do today? Let's talk about what you did today.
Let's see. I got up and washed my car, then took my daughter to a comic shop
That's what's up.
and got her. She got more books than me. I got one book. I got Batman Imposter, and
Okay.
she bought herself a couple books, or she picked out some books for me to buy for her. Missed out on Wonder Woman. They had this Wonder Woman day on Thursday. I was planning on taking it to her, but I didn't get out of work in time to
Okay.
do so. So missed out on that. But they had some free books there. So got her that. And then took it to my mom's, got to visit my mother, got her
Mhm.
some ice cream, just basically a daddy-daughter day.
Man, that's what's up. Man.
Yeah.
How old is your daughter?
She's 10.
Man, cherish those moments, bro.
Trying to, man. Trying to.
Cherish it, man. Get as much time as you in.
Only got a couple
Um,
more years before she thinks I'm a complete jerk and never wants
yeah,
to
man.
have anything to
Yeah,
do with me.
yeah. It's I pray that when that day comes, uh, your love for her will be even double because you'll need it. I promise you. But today, I did my normal Sunday routine. I got up, went to church this morning, and came home and took a good nap with my dog. Watched some of the football game,
Yep.
and then had a good meal, and then I kind of sat around, read some comic books, enjoyed that thoroughly, and got ready for the night show. So the days, well, didn't go. It wasn't a dragging day. It was actually a full day. So thank the Lord for that. But anyway,
I'm digging your shirt, bro.
appreciate it, man. You want to first of all, let me shout out. I see my man Amir's in here. I can't guess. I don't know. I'm not sure who else is in here, but
Ciabatta boys in
yeah,
the
Ciabatta
building.
boys in the building. Uh, Got to shout out Winston's Wham. This is the Black Lightning shirt, courtesy work that Jay Napoleon, the owner and CEO of Winston's Wham, hooked this up for me, and so I want to thank him here for doing that. He's not a sponsor, but I wanted to do something on Black Lightning for a show, and so I wanted to have a shirt also in kind of spirit of that is too. So when I originally was going to do something old school, but the old school stuff is cool, you know what I'm saying, but it's dated, even it's old school, it's dated. Some stuff that's old school needs to stay old school.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying, so I got a modern version of Jefferson Pierce's Black Lightning here, so that's what's up. But I want to shout him out. I want to shout the whole Black comic lords, Black superheroes forever, and the whole Black community, Black comic book community. For real, I want to just shout them out and thank them for all that they do. Man, so I don't want to prolong the time. We got a lot to cover on tonight, but I wanted to open up tonight with a thing on finances. And the reason why I want to open up with finances tonight is because this is a hobby that we enjoy, right? And, there's some logistic challenges, supply chain challenges that the comic book community is facing. Um, Before we actually get into the finance part, the component that I want to talk about, we got to talk about this news we got from Image Comics.
Yeah.
Image has put out a statement that in the foreseeable future, let me translate that for y'all. When they say foreseeable future, 2022, you will not get a second print of anything off Image Comics. I just don't see them. I just don't see this quote unquote shortage of raw materials popping out of thin air. So you're not going to see any second prints. Let me tell you why this is huge. First of all, it's coming from the third big, it's the big three, DC, Marvel, but it was Image that actually kind of let us know what they wanted to do before Marvel and DC. Now, we all was aware that there's been, paper shortage, right?
Right.
We all know that. That's not news. It's been in the news for a couple of weeks now. Bags and boards, ladies and gentlemen. If you don't go get you some bag and boards, pretty soon you might go to a shop and you might not be able to find it. So you might want to stock up on bags and boards. If you're going to, if you don't need them, you don't have to worry about them. But if you do, you know what I'm saying? If you're paying $15 for a pack of 100, boards, it is what it is. Those containers that they're sitting out there in the port of Los Angeles are not out there for a reason. Okay. I had a conversation with a gentleman today. We were talking about some of the stuff that are on those containers. Some of those stuff is perishables, which means that there's going to be some stuff that's going to come over. It's going to be bad by the time it hits the shores. You know what I'm saying? So some stuff is going to be lost. We're going to experience shortages. It's going to be higher prices, and that all trickles down. So, Paul, I want to get your thoughts on as to with Image kind of not being afraid to go out here and tell everybody, look, we just think we can't do it. We don't. They don't even want to give themselves that kind of headache. They see the writing on the wall. What do you think that bodes for Marvel and DC?
It depends on whether or not Image's supply line is similar to Marvel and DC's. Marvel and DC's have fairly large budgets. I would think DC Image does as well, but the big two, I would suspect, have deeper pockets than Image.
Right.
Now, I view the lack of it. Look, printing paper shortages notwithstanding, the move to get rid of second printings, I think, is a good thing for comic collectors.
Mm-hmm.
Back in the day, when I say back in the day, I mean pre-90s, we didn't have a bunch of second printings for stuff. You had your direct market and you had your newsstand, maybe a Mark Jewelers. That's about it. For the most part, most comics were one and done. And I actually prefer that. It's collecting is a bit of an obsession, right? I mean, to be a collector, you've got kind of an obsessive compulsive disorder to a degree.
Yeah.
Besides the simple enjoyment of reading, if you start getting into, because it's a medium that is also visual, the art is important to all of us. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, we'd all be reading novels, right? True. We wouldn't be into comics. We'd be into reading novels and books, specifically, not just comics. So the fact that we're into this visual medium means we appreciate art, which means when we see a hot cover, we want it.
Right.
As part of the compulsion of this hobby. And the myriad of covers is, in my opinion, kind of killing the industry, because now it's more about finding that variant and getting the incentive variant, and we're going to reach a point of diminishing returns where we're going to get priced out. We're already at the point now where comics are really just kind of an adult industry. Think about it. Back in the day, when you and I came up, Rich, we would get our comics at the corner store, right? We get it at the 7-Eleven. We get it at the local bodega, or what have you. and we pay our 25, 30, 60 cents for these books.
Yep.
And they were accessible to children, both in terms of where we could find them and in terms of the price point for kids. I used to, I remember mowing lawns to get an allowance from my parents. So I had my money for my comic books. Right. And that was my comic book money. It was just doing my chores to get my allowance from my parents. But that was enough to buy me a stack of comics. Because we're not talking about a bunch of money. If I got $20, I'd be excited. I think I might have gotten $5 each week. But I'd save up that $5 so that at the end of the month, I had enough to buy me a stack of comics. You know, $5 will buy you one book now.
Yeah, man.
Right?
Right.
And for kids today, particularly kids that are not well off, $5 is a lot of money.
A lot of money.
For one comic book.
A lot of money.
Assuming the comic book is even something that a kid would even read. Because I took my daughter to the comic book store today, and I had to direct her to a section. Fortunately, my LCS has a section of kids comics. But you know, they said here's a group of free comics that are on this table. You have your daughter pick out stuff. But by the way, don't touch that one, because those are adult. You know, and I had to sit there and make sure she didn't pick up something that had freaking a knife sticking in somebody's head or something. You know.
Yeah.
But you know, in answer to your question, I think it's a good thing. I hope the rest of the industry follows suit with taking out the second prints. Hopefully, they'll move on to, you know, we're gonna do one cover, maybe two, and that's it. But it's big business. I don't know if that's gonna change. But my fear is that they're gonna destroy the business. They're gonna destroy the industry by making it a very small niche of people that can afford this stuff to be in this hobby.
And what I'm getting at also, talking about all this is, you know, Doc, we have, you know, particularly Marvel and DC. Well, I should say Marvel, not DC, but Image. Something's Killing the Children is like in its 8th, 9th printing. Okay. I mean, you could go get Something's Killing the Children #1.
Right.
You know, but it's like the 8th or 9th printing of it. White, but by Black Mass Studios. I picked up a #1 White 3rd printing for cover price. I didn't pay a bunch of money for it or whatever. I thought the cover was nice, and so that's why I picked it up. I'm not really a big fan of White, the comic book, but you see these kind of things, and it's almost like what's the point? You know what I'm saying? So it's like you buying stuff just strictly for the covers or the art of the covers, or whatever. You know, it is what it is.
Yeah, Amir says cover A and cover B is all you need.
Yeah, that's what's up, bro, for real. You know, and we'll get into some, when we talk about comics later on, we'll get into some of the A and B stuff, particularly what's going on with DC. So we'll chop that up. My man Dion says, I was at Barnes & Noble yesterday, noticed various groups of Black teens stayed in the manga section the entire time. American comics need to adjust some of their business practices and storytelling to adjust to the youth. Yeah, that. Hey, bro, that's the sign of the times. It is what it is. American comics are going to be kind of like manga in the 80s or the 90s. It's going to be only a select people, a few of us that will continue to enjoy them.
What's interesting about manga is when they release a lot of those manga books, they're books. They're not like floppies.
No, not at all.
You know, they tell whole stories. And I think to a degree, the comic industry has organically moved in that direction, in the sense that most comic shops, a lot of comic shops, I should say, are big on these trade paperbacks. If you look at the industry, if you analyze the industry now,
right,
comic story arcs, if they're not one shots, which are almost rare these days, which were the norm back in the day, Comic story arcs are about 5 to 6 issues. They do that specifically because 5 to 6 issues gives you enough for a trade paperback.
Absolutely.
So the comic companies now are gearing all of their comics as trade paperback volumes, which is why we have the renumbering of each of these arcs.
Yeah.
You know, they'll do a reboot.
And to let's keep it 100.
And that's how these kids collect.
That's one, that's how they collect, but two, that's how also that ultimately be the very same thing that will save the comic industry.
Yeah.
We're just not in that space. You know, we got the news that Black Panther is gearing up for their 200th issue. But you know, that number is kind of, you know, symbolic only because the issues are not numbered like that.
Right.
You know, but they're going to celebrate an actual 200th issue as if that's really going to mean a lot. And it really doesn't, because their number system. You know, if you were going to say, I want to collect the full Black Panther run, but you got to collect it in volumes. You can't collect it on a continuity basis. So, but you know, hey, whatever they can do to turn a dollar, I'm not mad at. I mean, it is what it is. But you know, I don't see the industry catering to the floppy guy like me and you. A lot of stuff is going digital. A lot of our creators are going to places like Substack. Rodney Barnes knows that I like Elysium Gardens. He knows that. He knows that I like it. He knows that a lot of other people like it. And he's like, guess what, guys? If you want to continue to read Elysium Gardens, you have to subscribe. You have to subscribe to this digital platform, and you have to read these books over here, you know? And so it's kind of like being put on the hook without having a choice. It's kind of like, you know, it's like the transition from CDs to streaming. You really don't have a choice. You just can't go nowhere, Paul, and buy a CD now.
Yeah.
You got to stream everything. That's where we're going. And you know, we can fight it. We can be mad about it, but you know, it is what it is. But getting back to the financial piece, I wanted us to be, as collectors in this time, be wise, because you know, it takes a little bit of money to participate in this hobby. And so you got to be smart with your funds. You got to be smart in terms of, if you're going to do pull lists, you can find somewhere where you can get deep discounts on a, you know, for having a pull list. That's the move. If you're going to, you know, spend extra money in the secondary market, which is eBay, Mercari, or some of these other e-commerce places where you can buy your comic books, you know, don't buy the first book you see. You know, do your research. Try to find the book at a cheaper price. Now, if you're a stickler for grading, that's one thing, but you know, just maximize your dollars, and at the same time, make sure that your family is good, because in this particular season, we're going to be experiencing, you know, shortages. The word is already out that if you're going to have any kind of Christmas, that you need to shop for your Christmas stuff now, because there may not be things in the stores come December. And I don't think no one wants to really talk about this kind of stuff, because we have experienced shortages on certain things, but Americans by and large are very entitled, spoiled people. And so, Paul, when they can't get their fruitcake, somebody might lose their mind. So, you know, I'm just saying, you guys got to, you know, make sure the fam is good. You know, I'm not going to pocket watch and tell you how to spend your money, but you know, don't be afraid of FOMO. You know, don't be afraid to be priced out of stuff, because guess what? You know what I'm saying? It's like the city bus, bro. The one comes every 15 minutes.
Mhm.
So you might not be able to get that book that you want today, but just hold on. Somebody's got it in their collection. Somebody's going to have an issue. Somebody's going to need to sell it. And that's how you play. You have to play the long game when it comes to collecting, particularly key books and grails. You can't get caught up.
Can I say something about that?
Yes, sir.
Here's the thing. There are certain, you mentioned a very good thing, that sometimes as a collector, you reach the point where there's a threshold where you just can't go beyond, where you get priced out of books.
Mm-hmm.
Like for me, I'm priced out of Tomb of Dracula #10.
Mm-hmm.
I'm priced out at this point of Captain America 117. I mean, there's just certain books that I'm not willing to pay that type of money for. I'm just not.
And Paul, and that is, you hit the key word, willing.
Yeah. Yeah. Between my own conscience and the fact that my wife would stab me with a fork, I just not willing to spend that type of money.
Yeah.
I've spent some money, mind you, but on one singular book, it's just. Now there are things that you can do, finance wise. That seems to be the topic we're talking about. I mean, if you're an old head like me and you've got boxes of long boxes. Yeah. There's probably some fluff that you can probably get rid of, sell, and have that finance your hobby. And hopefully I'm going to get to the point where my stuff's organized enough where I can start doing that. It's kind of my game plan, is getting to the point where I just start selling off my fluff and just stick to my own personal collection, which will be heavily emphasized on Black.
Right.
That's one thing. Another thing is also recognizing that instead of, the FOMO can be a big problem, because everybody wants that first appearance. But if you're a reader, not just a collector, if you're a reader, you recognize that there are other issues with that same character that may have tremendous amounts of value as well. For example, everybody wants a Fantastic Four 52 for Black Panther's first appearance. It's a very expensive book now.
Yeah, it is.
I was fortunate to get a beat up, messed up copy for like $20, 10 years ago. But there are plenty of other Black Panther keys that are out there. Like for me, if you want to talk about the modern iteration of Black Panther, if you don't have that #1 with that done by Christopher Priest in '98, tripping. That's a key.
Yeah.
First appearance of the Dora Milaje, first appearance of Okoye, first appearance of Nakia, the rebranding of who T'Challa is, the vibranium weave suit, all that is in that one issue.
Right.
That's.
But you know what's funny? Here's the funny part. That is a big issue, but it is an affordable first. I mean, #1, Black Panther #1. The Reginald Hudlin run #1 is very expensive. Yeah, that's not a cheap book to get.
The #2 is more expensive.
#2 is Shuri's. #2 is expensive too. I have a #2. I don't have a #1 of the Hudlin. Well, I take it back. I'm sitting up. I just purchased a copy of #1. Just recently, but I know I didn't have it for a long time. And so you can kind of go through, you can go kind of crazy trying to like you said, a Fantastic Four 52 is the book is like way out there, and you can go spend $400 or $500 for a 2.0. But it's like, do you really need that book in your collection? It boils down to, what I'm saying, okay, doing something as crazy as if you were a Black Panther fan, okay, this is for you Black Panther, you bleed vibranium. If you want to spend that money, knock yourself out. Just know that when you spend that money, the chances are a book like that you're not going to sell. I don't think you put that book in your collection to it one day at some point to sell. Now, there are books that you can acquire that say, you know what, I'm gonna keep this in my collection for a while, and I might sell it one day. But I just don't see anybody just like putting it out there.
Well, I mean, you have some guys that have the,
or those that have multiple copies.
Yeah, they got the guap to have the multiple copies, and they get. I mean, you see Flood's got like 10 9.8s.
Shout out to my man Flood. He's in here, I think, tonight too.
It's like his retirement plan, or I don't know what his plan is for all those issues. But for me, if you have 9.8 of an issue, just other than just pure investment to sell it to one day, I don't see the point.
I mean, it's a beautiful problem to have.
It's a great problem to have. It's a problem I can talk about because I don't have it, because I don't have multiple.
I mean, it was, this actually last year I wanted to, actually break down and actually get a Fantastic Four 52. But I did not accomplish that goal because I went off task. I started doing some other stuff. And, that's the other thing about, collecting, is that if you have a certain goal in mind, certain budget you want to stay in and things of that nature, you gotta really discipline yourself. That's like with a cat like Flood, who has all these 9.8s or whatever, that takes a lot of discipline. Because he could easily okay, I don't want, I can get the 9.6 or the 9.4 for maybe $200 or $300 cheaper. Most people say, yeah, let me go ahead and do that. Not Flood. I need mine to be near mint, bruh. Don't play with me. So, but it costs the stunt. Shout out to my man. My man Flood be everywhere too. He was hanging out with Greg, I think Greg Bynum. I think that's his name, or whatever, one of the creators at Tuskegee Airmen. He was hanging out, helping out my brother out there doing this thing or whatever. And I asked Greg, I said, man, when y'all coming to Texas? Because I'm, meeting him and Marcus Williams is something I want to do. I want to see, because, truth be told, I only have a couple of books for Marcus Williams to sign, but I need them books signed.
Right.
So, what I'm saying?
I wish I could have gone to that con this weekend, man, with the
Baltimore con,
man.
The Baltimore con.
So many artists were there.
Yep.
I mean, the art I would have got, the books I would have gotten signed would have been crazy, man.
My man Michael Smith, Texas. What's up? H-Town here.
Oh, Flood's here.
What up,
Flood, man? How you doing,
I'm from the H, Mike. You know what I'm saying? That's what's up. Go Stros. We gonna knock the brakes off of Atlanta. So that's what's up. Yeah, man. But
Dion and Michael Smith are both talking about NFTs.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a great alternative if you're getting into comics for spec and investment.
Mm-hmm.
NFTs is kind of the way of the future. I can't pretend that I understand exactly how it works, other than viewing it from a concept of buying shares of a product.
Right.
As closest you can, my brain can wrap around the concept.
Yeah.
But that seems to be the way of the future.
I mean, it is, but it's very new, so it's kind of a wait and see thing or whatever. But I know that the DC fandom, they had something set up where if you registered, you was able to get some NFTs for free. So but of course I didn't even watch fandom, so I wasn't even.
How did you not watch fandom, dude? You're a DC dude. I'm a Marvel guy and I watch fandom.
No, I was hanging out with my pops. I was in Houston.
Yeah, but dude, it's on YouTube. You can go back and watch it.
Why would I do that when I already know the news?
Well, truth be told, I kind of was only watching the milestone segments anyway.
Yeah, so I mean, that's all I really really cared about anyway. I still hadn't seen the Batman trailer, so.
Oh, the Batman trailer was dope.
Yeah,
the Batman trailer was dope. I thought the Flash trailer was a little disappointing. It didn't really tell you much.
Yeah.
The Black Adam was even less. I mean, that looked like the opening sequence to The Mummy. I mean, it didn't really tell you anything.
Well, you know what though?
It's more of a teaser than a trailer.
But hold up. But see, the Black Adam trailer was cool. When he began to like levitate, I was like, oh boy.
Yeah, it was just what I'm saying. It was more of a teaser than it was a trailer.
Yeah, yeah. You know, it's gonna be dope. I mean, I expect you know, I give The Rock a lot of crap, but I do like him as a personality. I don't.
Hey, Dewey's my boy.
So, but yeah, man, you know, but guys,
shout out to The Rock.
Just either way, we talk about finance
this weekend, baby.
Just be smart about your money. You know what I'm saying? When you're spending this time or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Like I say, stuff is gonna go up. So don't be shocked or whatever. If you ain't got enough to buy, like, you know, 3 copies of Black Panther #1, because we know that's coming out next month, supposedly. I just seen a lot of books get pushed back. So Black Panther might get pushed back again. So,
well, that raises another thing. Now, you know, I'm kind of an FOC guy,
right?
You know, contrary to what Herschel says. So, you know, do you think FOCs will become more important with, you know, this shortage of paper and the decisions to
absolutely
cut back on comics? I mean, I think
because it's going to basically, some guys are going to be like, well, you know, I don't really need to put this on my pull list, or I don't really need a pull list. They're going to have copies at the shop when I go. So you're not thinking about a pre-order or whatever. Oh, he's going to have plenty of copies, you know, no big deal. You go there, pick up a copy. You know, I got to say, some of the Black books, they order a limited number of those books.
Right.
And most times it's down to like 1 copy.
Right.
1 or 2 copies.
Particularly on if you want those variants.
You know, of those books, you know, so it's risk reward. So either way.
I went to the LCS today and I looked at the shelves. I'm going to post it up. I took a picture. Nubia's gone. I was like, dude, you don't have any more Nubia? He's like, yeah, we only ordered 25 copies. Yeah. They were gone the first day.
Yeah. And if that issue 2 don't get better.
Stop. Stop.
Okay. Richie gonna be good tonight. Richie gonna be good tonight. We
can't all of us be banned by creatives because of things we say.
Let's shift gears. And we're gonna talk about Black Lightning right now. Let me, you know, reason why I want to do a section on Black Lightning tonight is because Black Lightning is my guy. And it was the first comic that really blew my mind when I saw it on the spinner rack. I was 9 years old.
You too, Rich. I got love for you too, dog.
This guy here. I was 9 years old. And I was with my buddy, and I happened to see it, and I just was, you know, he had me at hello. So, but anyway, you know, because he's my guy, and there's not a lot of Black Lightning material out there. You know, he has a couple of runs. He's got a limited series with Black Devil, or Blue Devil, I should say. He's getting a lot of his connection to the Bat universe through Batman and the Outsiders. But what people don't know is that the first DC character to appear in a Black Lightning book was not Superman, was not Batman, but it was Superman in issue 4 of the first volume. And so even though he's, you know, he has this relationship with Batman, it was Superman that you know, when they brought him in, they brought the biggest, baddest superhero into the comic book. Superman was that character. So naturally, I have an affinity for Superman, not just because of that, but because I just enjoy the character anyway. But anyway, so there's not a whole lot of books. He doesn't have as many books as, say, T'Challa does, you know what I'm saying? But I just think he's a dope character for who he is. And, you know, he's not the most popular character in the DC universe. He's not the most popular Black character ever, and that's okay. You know what I'm saying? I've never been one to like go after the hot guy. You know what I'm saying? I mean, T'Challa, I love Black Panther, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Black Panther's been around a long time, you know, and he's always kind of been there. You know what I'm saying? But you know, I did never, as a young kid, I didn't gravitate to T'Challa. If I'd have had like the movies, and cartoons, you know, of the '90s and all that, I might have been a bigger Black Panther fan. I am a Black Panther fan. I'm just saying, we didn't have that, bro.
You don't have to explain.
I know,
Ricky
but I have to say all this.
I have a vintage spinner rack. I can send you a pic with Black Lightning #1 in it if you want to get nostalgic. Ricky, I don't want the spinner rack pic. I want the spinner rack. Send me the spinner rack. Those things are not cheap. Have you looked those things up on eBay?
I've tried to buy one. Yes, I've been that much of a nerd. Yeah, I'm gonna tell you something. Hit vintage shops.
Yeah.
And you might be able to find one in a vintage shop somewhere. You may have to paint it, clean it up, or whatever. But you know, they're around. Just gotta find one, man. But they're not cheap. No, they're not cheap at all. So anyway, but that's been my guy. And so there's not a lot of memorabilia. There's not a lot of stuff about it. So what tonight I want to do, I want to just chop it up. I want to give my brother some love, and I wanted to just talk about my favorite character tonight. So the first thing I'm gonna show you guys is you know, Herschel is probably gonna hate me for this, but I'm just gonna show you this. I have every issue of Volume 1, but this is the trade.
Oh, a what?
This is a trade. This is a
what the hell's a trade?
This is a trade. Now I'm gonna tell you why the trade is dope. Okay, this trade has the trade in here has World's Finest 260, which is actually the 12th book that was supposed to be a part of the original run. Okay, not only that, in the back of the book, the artist Trevor Von Eaton has actually the let me see if I can find it real quick. This was supposed to be the cover of issue 13. So there's reasons why you pick up trades apart from that. There's some Trevor Von Eaton sketches in here as well. For those who don't know who Trevor Von Eaton is, he is the 16, 17-year-old gentleman that created.
Hold on. Choose your next words very carefully.
That helped co-create Black Lightning.
Oh Lord.
Hold on, Paul. Hold on, Paul. We going somewhere. Let me help you tonight. Hold on. Let me help
expressions reiterated in this live, not necessarily reflective. The Black comic lords, Black superheroes forever.
No. Now I'm gonna tell you why I said what I said, Paul.
Ah, damn it.
I'm gonna need you. Hold on. This is what I need you to do. No. Listen to me. You're gonna I promise you. You're gonna love me for this, Doc. I want you to share your screen. And what I want you to do is I want you to go to Google.
Uh-huh.
And I want you to put in Trevor Von Eaton. Just Google it.
How do you spell Eaton?
Eaton is E-E-D-E-N. Now, when you Google it,
yeah,
there's going to be a couple of things you'll see, and there should be a post that says The Strange Life or Case of Trevor Von Eaton.
All right, hold on a sec.
Because it's going to take you to a link that's Comics Beat, I think is the name of the website. You may have to put in Trevor Von Eaton and Black Lightning to bring it up. We're going to put the rest something that has been misunderstood, and so just bear with us tonight. I want us all to kind of look at this. Okay, now I just need you to go down to the news. Just scroll down. Scroll down, scroll down, scroll down. There it is. The Long, Strange Journey of Trevor Von Eaton. Click that. Now, we're going to go to that website, but on that website, there is a link. This is basically a reprint of this article, but you're going to go down to the page. You know, you click off that beat thing, whatever that is, exit that off if you can. I don't know if you can or not. You can scroll down though. There should be a link to the original post.
There we go.
Scroll down. Scroll down.
Okay.
Scroll down, scroll down, scroll down. It may be up further. Go ahead, keep going.
This one?
Okay, no. Yeah, that's it. Click that one. Click that link. That's going to take us to the original story. Okay, as you can see, this article was put out on August the 15th, 2016.
Yeah.
Okay, go down, all the way down. Now, the person that wrote this article included that Circus Magazine article of the picture of Trevor Von Eaton. But down here, what I want you to see are the comments.
Oh, comments, okay.
The comment section. If you go down a little bit, keep going.
Okay.
Keep going. Shout out. Now stop right there. Go back up. Go back up. Go back up. No, stop right there. Stop. You go went too far. The comment I wanted you to see before that, I wanted to shout out Michael Fife. Now, the reason why I'm shouting this guy out, because Amir knows this is like Kay's, one of Kay's friends. Okay, Michael Fife or whatever. He's a comic book artist, I believe. But right under that one, there was a post put up by Mr. Trevor Von Eaton himself. And stop right there. This is what he says. The next paragraph. By the way, I am officially DC Comics' first Black artist and co-creator of Black Lightning, as I had been told by the execs at DC Comics themselves. Either that or they've been cashing royalty checks belonging to someone else. DC Comics acknowledges that Trevor Von Eaton is a co-creator of Black Lightning. Okay, now you can stop the screen share there.
Okay.
That's the case. That's the evidence for case number one. Let me. Now you're a lawyer, Paul, and we have to let the evidence show. Okay, we're going to switch gears and we're going to go to this beautiful magazine here. For those of you who may not know, this is back issue.
Oh, that one was a 113, 114, something
Yeah,
like
this is back issue 114.
I want that so bad.
And back issue 114, there is a story. There is an interview of Tony Isabella, the creator, quote unquote, the creator of Black Lightning.
Right.
In this interview, he says, I'll read it. Trumbull, the guy who is interviewing him, says, so you created Jefferson Pierce. You created Black Lightning. You're getting ready to do the book. How did Trevor Von Eaton come into the picture? Isabella says, well, when I created Black Lightning, it was supposed to be a partnership agreement with DC because Black Lightning did not exist in any way, shape, or form at DC before I created him and brought him to DC. So the deal was a partnership agreement. I was supposed to get 20% of anything they made on the character outside the actual comic books.
Oh, damn.
Decisions about the character were supposed to be jointly made, and it took all about a week for them to violate that agreement.
Yeah, I didn't even know the agreements like that even existed back then.
Hey, the industry is the industry, bro. I was planning to steal an artist from Marvel, because I'd worked with some really fine young Black artists like Ron Wilson, Keith Pollard, and Arvell Jones. And my plan was to steal one of them from Marvel and have them draw Black Lightning. DC said, oh, we hired an artist for Black Lightning. And I was like, wait a minute, well, you're not supposed to do that. Then I met Trevor. He was a very young guy, very enthusiastic. His early work was not as good as he would become, but he put so much enthusiasm into his work, there was no way I was going to say, no, not him. I was happy to have him on board. We have a costume design meeting, and Trevor was there, Jack Harris, and then he goes off into the editor of the series and some other stuff. So by Isabella's own admission, you know, they brought Eden in to draw this book. He was a young Black starving artist, or young artist, if you want to just prefer to say that. And he's getting royalties for that. How many artists are getting royalties for books that they draw?
But on the other hand, Isabella said, I created the character. I pitched it to DC. They were willing, they were willing to extend this agreement where I'd get 20% of everything off the character. Now we just needed an artist to work on the book. So
he said that, correct.
When you're saying creator, the concept of creation is, let me come up with the name of the character, let me come up with the powers for the character, and let me come up with the backstory for the character. That's the creator.
Yeah, now, but what is the visual of it?
Yeah,
isn't that very much a part of the actual image?
It is, but last part of what you just read was him saying, Tony Isabella saying, we had a meeting with Trevor, a design meeting, a costume meeting, to define what he was going to look at, which means that Tony Isabella would have also had input as to what it would look like. So he could have, and we don't know what was said, but foreseeably he could have said, I want a guy, part of his backstory is that he's wearing an Afro wig with a mask, so draw that. And I like the color scheme of blue, yellow, and black. Let's do that. And let's do that V-shaped thing that we give all Black superheroes back in the 70s. Let's give him boots, and I like him to be blue.
That very
if he
well
did all
may,
but he's really just artist drawing what the writer came up with.
Here's the original writings or drawings of Black Lightning. The very first ideas from Trevor Von Eden.
Okay.
All I'm saying is that name me a Black creator. Do you think Billy Graham, Don McGregor, whoever these legends or whatever, you think they're still getting royalties from the stuff that they did?
No, I mean, I think that's a very strong argument. I think that part is the strongest argument. The fact that if he's still getting royalty checks, back when I didn't even know they were giving royalty checks to artists for that. I mean,
and that article was from 2016.
Most of these artists, the old school artists, talk about how they got paid $2,000 for their entire work on some book, and that was it.
Yeah,
they got no royalty.
But he's got royalties, and so that either says, okay, either DC's the most honest company in the world, or they had to. See, they're not going to just give royalties to some guy just because he drew something. Okay, all I'm saying is that Isabella, whether he may want to acknowledge it or not, probably on the wrong side of this argument. And he could be hot about it. I'm not tripping. But I have no comments on this subject.
I
think, Paul, you ought to be happy to know that your statement about him being a co-creator was not far from the truth at all.
It wasn't my statement per se. It was me quoting what the Black Lightning television show says.
And you quoted it right, but it just so happened the artist, quote unquote, or the writer did not like it. And here's the thing: I'm not an Isabella guy. I respect the guy.
Neither's Amir. Amir says I don't like Tony anyway.
Well, see, Amir's going back to the Brian Hill situation, and that's another situation. Batman on the Outsiders. Brian Hill was the writer. Great, incredible run. You know what I'm saying? For those of you that are not DC guys, I would, if somebody was to ask me, I'm not a DC guy. Give me a DC book to read. I would tell them go read Batman and the Outsiders by Brian Hill, because he knocked it out the park. he didn't like the way he was presenting Jefferson Pierce. So he had something to say about it. He was on the wrong side of that argument too. So, you know, even though he did help create my guy, and that's my favorite character, I could not sit in a room with him and say, like, you know what? Trevor Von Eaton was a 16-year-old black kid who gave us an iconic figure. Now, it's unfortunate that everybody that Jack Kirby, Stan Lee get all the love because of T'Challa. But for whatever reason, a lot of people don't even know that Black Lightning was drawn by a black kid, a black man. Okay? That speaks volumes. We talk this all the time, Paul, about black creators and supporting black businesses. And we got an old school creator, and no one knows that Trevor Von Eaton was a black kid who created Black Lightning.
Let's see.
We can put co-create on it.
All the iconic black characters from back in the day, which one of them had black creators?
They had, all of them did. They weren't just known.
No. I'm talking about, like, you know, especially the big two. When you think about Black Panther, Storm, Misty Knight, Luke Cage, Jon Stewart, Bumblebee, Mal Duncan, any of those names I just mentioned, any of them have black creators? Black Lightning of that generation, because all those that I just mentioned are in the same sort of time period, right?
Right.
Late 60s to early to mid 70s. Of all of those characters, which one of those had black creators other than Black Lightning? I can't say. I think any of them did.
I don't know.
He might be the only one.
Now,
if that's the case, that means
Daron says Arvell Jones. That's one.
Who did Arvell Jones create? Misty Knight?
He may have, but I know Isabella created Misty Knight too. So here's the thing: if he did that art for that character or whatever, I mean, does he get credit for help creating the character?
Misty Knight.
So I'm not sure. Devon, he says Misty Knight, Arvell Jones. So that's a situation where the PR perhaps is not proper to where, you know, creators that they were black, they weren't well known. Billy Graham was I think was largely unknown. We all knew there was a guy named Billy Graham, but nobody necessarily knew that he was a black guy though. You know, we didn't have things like the internet, and that's why the situation with Trevor Von Eaton is frustrating, because if we had the internet or whatever, Instagram or anything like, we would have known that. You know what I'm saying? I think
back in the day, the only way we knew that a black writer or artist was on a book is if you ever saw them at a con, or sometimes in, like, remember the old Marvel books, they do like a bullpen bulletin, and they'll do like artist or writer of the month or whatever in the back of the book. Yeah. That was the only way you ever found out that someone was black.
The only way. And here's the funny part about it. This article that was in that we showed, that we shared, that article.
Yeah.
This is actually from Circus Magazine, a rock magazine. So I don't even know if there are any black publications that had any of his work or knew that he was even an artist in the industry at the time.
Right.
And Black Lightning's origin is in 1977. So you had Jet, you had Ebony,
right?
You know, you know, they didn't, the people that were quote unquote journalists at the time, they didn't even think much of the artists to really big them up like that, to where we would know, or the old heads would know. A lot of us that the old heads don't know.
As you mentioned, Jet and Ebony, you know, I think it's a shame that Jet and Ebony never had a comic strip in them. You know, that could have been huge. Imagine
they had comic drawings. Ebony did.
But I'm talking about like a superhero, you know, like a newsstand comic strip, you know, Sunday Funnies and what have you.
Yeah. Well, they could have got that from Pittsburgh Courier, the Chicago Defender,
right?
But Ebony was on some other stuff, you know. But that's another.
Imagine if Larry Fuller back in the day could have gotten his Eben continued in like Jet or Ebony. Ebony magazine
Yeah.
hires Larry Fuller to do Eben the superhero in their magazine.
You know what's funny? I think at the time there was a time the Nation of Islam was selling products like soap, and they couldn't get Robert Johnson to sign off on allowing the Nation of Islam to advertise in Ebony magazine.
Right.
But I mean, that just shows you what they would do. You could sell cigarettes, you could sell whiskey. Sorry, Ebony, we throwing you under the bus tonight. This is Richard Wright production.
Just don't talk about my Page Street Girls and Jet magazine.
I'm just saying, hey, I'm saying, do what you do. I would call it what you want, as long as I can call it what it is. Okay. But, I mean, it is what it is, man. Some of us just don't know. So I celebrate that, you know what I'm saying? I feel good knowing that it's a Black character that a Black man is connected to, if nothing else.
Right.
So.
No, that's huge, dude. For that
Yeah.
time period of those classic Black heroes. I didn't know about the Misty Knight one that Duran pointed out. So that's kind of cool too. But few and far between of those big two heroes.
Now I want to show
Black co-creators.
Yeah, I want to show some comics.
All right.
These two comics.
Yeah, dude. You told me. Look, just so y'all know.
These two comics. This is Justice League 173.
Now, based on, I think I just picked that up actually.
Yeah.
I thought I just picked that up.
Appreciate you, Dion, for sure.
Just so y'all know, Rich lives in, as you know, Texas.
That's what's up.
Have you contacted Amir and told him what shops to go to? Because
Texas is big, bro. Texas is like the country.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is.
I mean, you know what I'm saying? It would take me literally, if I got in my car and drove to where Amir stays, it would take me at least 8-9 hours to get where he stays.
Just so y'all know, all right? This cat who's on the internet with you right now, he finds the most absurd stuff for like $1.
Yeah.
Or less.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
In his shops. Like he's got some type of report. He's got, we talk about Otis. Otis, he gets basically stacks of books for free because he's Otis. People love him. Rich got kind of a similar thing with his LCSs, but he just walks out with all types of crazy stuff. And this cat had the audacity and the unmitigated gall to call me up on video to show me a stack of books that he got for like $3-4.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm not gonna tell you what I have, but just understand that I got some good stuff. So I've had to wait 2 days for this moment to see what Rich had in his $3-4 sale. So go ahead.
You know what? I don't even have that here. I mean, I got it.
So you just teased me, and you're not even gonna show me what you bought.
Okay, all right. Maybe a little bit later on we talk about comics, but I wanted to show these books first.
This dude.
This is funny. Okay, so this is Justice League 173.
Yeah, I just picked that up.
If you look at these books, they are identical except for one thing.
One's a newsstand, one's not?
No, this one has DC on it, and this is a Whitman.
Whitman, yeah.
Okay, now, remember I told you earlier about Superman being the first DC character in a Black Lightning book. Okay, so this actually comes out of a story where they're trying to recruit Black Lightning to the Justice League. And so Green Arrow is the guy that kind of really wants him on the team. Everybody else is kind of like, I'm not sure, whatever, what I'm saying. We're not, they even use the word token in the book. So it gets pretty deep. I first read this story in a trade, in a Justice League trade called Hereby Elects. And so the significance of this book, particularly this one with the Whitman thing is that back in the day, there was a store called Woolworth and Kmart.
You know how old you just made me feel? The fact that you said back in the day, there was a store called Woolworth
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, I know Woolworth.
They
Like,
would put-
does that make
they
me
would-
old? The fact that I know that?
Yeah. They would put these, this is a reprint. They would put this book and other DC titles 3 for like $1, and they would sell them. This is what this comes out of. And so I wanted to just kind of get that because, again, these Whitman books are out here in the wild, but a lot of people don't know the significance of them. And I bring this up because we were talking earlier about, comics, the stuff that Walmart is doing is nothing new. This all, we could go get comics for cheap back in the day.
Yeah.
Back in the day. This was a 40-cent book on a newsstand, but they would stick like 3 comic books in a bag and sell them like that. So, but I just love the conversation where he says, with a bunch of jive turkeys in the JLA.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even know what the story is. I bought that specifically just for that cover.
Exactly. Telling Superman to get off. Now,
Jive turkey.
the next thing I want to show you guys is some shout out to my man Otis. I don't think Otis is here tonight, but he's always in spirit, over here in spirit. And so Otis collects original art, and I don't have any original art. Okay, but I do have production transparencies. Today they have software. They have, you can do everything on, as far as, when you creating stuff or whatever, you can do it on the internet. You can do it on a computer now. Back in the day that you had to really use a seal. This one here is Black Lightning. This is the cover of Black Lightning issue number 8. This is a transparency. This is a production thing. This was used in the creating of that comic book.
Well, that's almost as good as original art, man.
Yeah. So I have this one, and then I have this issue here. This is issue 9. This is the first page of issue number 9.
Well, that's what's up.
So I have some actual, they worked on this comic book. This is what they used. And so that's kind of dope. Like I said, I don't have a whole lot of stuff. Of course, we know about these. The other history of the DC universe. Of course, my man Paul has the poster in the background there. And this one here, this is the silver edition of that. I put this up because I brought these up because you will know more about Black Lightning from John Ridley's story.
Yeah.
Just reading this.
That was so well written, dude. I'm a big fan of that book.
You don't have to be a Black Lightning fan to enjoy what he wrote. It's very wordy, but I love this book because he gives us insight into who Black Lightning is, how he thought about those superheroes around him, whether it was Superman, whether it was John Stewart. He didn't care for either one of them. But he comes out of the whole thing with an understanding as to, the struggles that they all had with one another. I wish they were doing one on John Stewart, man. But I don't think that's going to happen. But shout out to John Ridley, man. We're going to talk about John Ridley later on, too. So, but yeah, these two here. And then, of course, I got to, put up his one with his daughter, Thunder.
Right.
And I got this one here for $1. But I got this one here for $1.
Sold that for like $9.
Now
$10,
I got this one here.
$9.99.
I got this one here in Houston for $1 at Bedrock Comics. So that's what's up. But anyway, now
I'm really starting to not like you.
Now you gonna hate me for this one. You gonna hate me for this one. Now, as you can tell, and now like I say, I have a slab of Black Lightning, behind me on one of my shelves up here. You can't see it. I'm not gonna move the camera.
Which one? Number 1?
I was slab number 1, 7.5. Yeah. That was the treasure of my Black Lightning collections. But I upped the ante, and I got this
9.8.
No, it's not a 9.8. It's actually a grade of 5 point lower. This is Black Lightning #1.
Oh,
signed by Tony Isabella.
There you go.
So
that's what's up.
Yeah. And I got this one for a pretty good price, I gotta say. So when I saw this, there are raw copies of Isabella signing books, but ain't not too many that you can get. I don't even know if they have any on the CGC censored at all. They may, but this book here was, to get a yellow label for CBCS, they witnessed it.
Yeah.
So yeah, man. That's the crown jewel of is my Black Lightning stuff.
I'm happy. I'm genuinely happy for you for that, man.
That's what's up, man.
If you're a Black Lightning guy, to have that's priceless.
But we're not done.
Man, come on.
Now, it's one thing to have the first Black Lightning comic book raw. It's another thing to have a first black comic book slab. And it's another thing entirely to have the very first appearance of Black Lightning anywhere. Comic Reader.
Promo or something?
This is Comic Reader. 139. The very first appearance.
Dude, I've never even heard of that.
The very first appearance of Black Lightning.
Oh, wait, pause. Ladies and gentlemen, Professor Time, Rico Jones is in the building.
That's
Rico, did you see what this cat just pulled out?
Rico, don't do that.
Oh, Rico just got here. Pull that book out again. I never even heard of that. I never even heard of that.
Yeah. This is the first appearance of Black Lightning. This came out in January 1977.
Oh, damn.
Yeah. Book came out in April of 1977, but this was the promo or the comic book reader. You know how you have you go to a comic book shop and they give you a little thing and it tells you kind of like the notifications of what's coming out and that kind of. That's what this is.
That's something to get signed by Trevor Von Eaton.
Yeah. And you know what's funny? He's still alive. He's still around. Right. I don't know if he does cons or anything like that. But there's his signature right there. So
wait, it's signed?
I mean, it's signed because it's his artwork. I mean,
okay.
Yeah. So yeah, but to get him to physically sign it already, it's already signed. So, but yeah, this is a very first appearance of that character. So
you need to frame that, dude.
And a black man. That's the thing. Let's not forget that there's a black man. I know some people say, well, he was created by a white man too. No, but there's a black man draw. It was drew in the image of a black man. It was written by a black man's hands. So give me some love on the black hand side, as they say. Give me 5 on the black hand side. Yeah, man. So that's what's up as far as that goes, man. But that's my guy. You know what I'm saying? I mean, everybody talks about they care about Black Lightning or Black Panther, Falcon. I say Black Lightning. Nobody cares. It's okay. I care. And as long as I care, that's all that matters.
Rico said, good stuff, bro. Very nice. Look, Rico gives you props. I mean, that's like.
Well, that's my guy, man. That's like my big bro in this. You know what I'm saying? I mean, Rico gave me a different way of seeing comics and collectibles in general. I owe that to Rico for sure.
Yeah.
As I can kind of fan out with him, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm impressed with what he does, but this is a cat been doing this a while. I'm just coming back into the hobby. So to even be embraced and to just sit and learn, you know what I'm saying? I just like everybody else, I learned from Professor Time, you know what I'm saying? So, and I brought all of that stuff out though, because it's really shaping on how I'm collecting now.
Yeah.
I'm looking at collecting different things versus, the next comic book or whatever. I enjoy comics. I love them. I read them or whatever, but I'm evolving as a collector. So,
you're reaching your ascendancy.
The ascendancy, more money. There's more money, more problems. All it means. But yo, I wanna switch gears and I want to talk about comics. But before we talk comics, Paul, I wanna shout out black men. There's nothing but black men in this room. There's nothing but black men in the chat. I want to shout out black men. I'm gonna tell you why. Black women have got their thing going on. We got black characters. We got black female characters. Riri, Lunella, Misty Knight, or whatever. They get a lot of love, right? But I want to shout out black men, in particularly John Ridley, Brandon Easton, Jeffrey Thorne, because they're writing Brandon Thomas, Rodney Barnes. Because whether y'all want to know it or not, whether y'all know it or not, these are black men that are writing some of the hottest books in comics today. Okay? Say what you want about the brothers, but you can't, you gotta put some respect on it. Black men doing their thing, they should be given their props. No one talks about and say black man magic, you know, they say something goofy like black boy joy. I remember somebody tried to refer that to me. I was like, excuse me, I'm a whole grown man.
Yeah.
Ain't nothing boy about me, okay?
that kind of brings up a topic that you and I discussed, which is, you know, we see a lot of, and this is, I have no problems with this per se, but you see the proliferation of black women in comics.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not talking about behind the scenes, the writers and stuff.
Yeah.
I'm talking about the portrayal of
Mm-hmm.
black females in comics, particularly on covers.
Right.
We have an explosion where random comics, they'll just find some way to put a black woman on the cover.
Mm-hmm.
To sell more books.
Yeah.
Somewhere, somehow, there's some paradigm in the Matrix where the company figured out, hey, if I put a black woman on this cover, there's a demographic of people out there that will go out and buy this book.
Man, you know what? I was thinking about, when you were talking, I was just thinking about Alex Ross. Alex Ross has some fire, ridiculously dope covers, man.
Yeah.
But the one he did with him, with the Immortal Hulk and the thing on it with the black waitress.
Right.
I just, if I ever see, I would ask him. I'm like, did Marvel tell you to do that, or did you do that on your own?
Right. And the cover had nothing to do with the story inside.
No.
But people like me saw that cover and was like, that cover's powerful.
I fell in love with it. I mean, you know what I'm saying? It's just like,
I bought that book just for the cover.
Yeah. I mean, bro, there's so much about that cover to me is amazing. In that, okay, here's a black woman, a middle-aged to older black woman, talking to two deformed monstrosity, and they're just kind of sitting there, kind of humble in her presence.
Right.
Which speaks to the strength of black women, their ability to nurture and ability to be kind. I mean, it's amazing. I've had to, like, you know, be careful when I go out and collect books, and when I dig in these dollar bins, because you'll see black women on these covers and they have nothing to do with the story. They have nothing to do with what's going on inside. And I've stopped doing that. I've stopped buying covers just because I see sisters on it. I mean, even if it may be a nice cover, but I'm not going to just do that, because, again, I'm a story guy and it has to make sense for me. But I'm not lost on the fact that, you know, comic companies know that, you know, black women sell. Black women, comics. They sell comics, and whether it's the white fanboys got a fetish or whatever you might say, or us as black men appreciating black women's beauty, they sell. So I'm not mad at that.
Right. And so, you know, we have this proliferation of, now taking it further, we now have a proliferation of black female heroes. We got our Nubias and our Naomis and our Ironhearts and Moon Girls and et cetera, right?
Right.
But how many black male-led superhero comics are out there right now
Mm.
that are not named T'Challa?
It's a couple.
We got Miracle Man, but that's a limited series.
Yeah, Miracle Man.
We got Green Lantern, which
Mhm.
is half of comic because it's Green Lantern plus Soldier Normola and Teen Lantern. Spawn, which is just ongoing.
Mhm.
But what other black male led comics superheroes are there? Can't count Black Manta. That's a limited series, and he's a villain.
I'll leave that alone. We'll talk about that in a minute.
The point I'm trying to make is that they're not pushing black male superheroes.
No, they're not.
And,
you know what?
I wonder,
I gotta go ahead.
I kind of want to say something, but I'm on the internet and I don't want to
yeah. But you know what? You open that door, so I'm gonna walk through it. Doggone it. Shout out to my man, Chuck Brown. Okay. Black Manta #2. The first couple of pages of that book was genius. I don't want to spoil it, but I'm going to spoil it.
It's been out several days. The window's gone, man.
I don't want to spoil it.
Oh, you can spoil it.
But I'm going to spoil it, okay?
Let it be spoiled.
Man, look. Story opens up with kids playing. One guy's playing Aquaman, the little black boy's playing Black Manta. And of course, they kind of get into it, and they was like, well, Black Manta's a villain. The little boy say, yeah, bring it up, Paul. Can you bring it up? Yeah,
how'd you know that's what I was doing?
Man, please bring this up. Now listen, we about to have a master class on how you write a comic book. Okay? Shout out to the God. Brown did his thing, man. He doing his thing. If you're not reading Black Manta, you are literally asleep at the wheel, bro. For real. Okay. Now, what I love about this book is that the cover has nothing to do with what he's doing.
Dope cover though.
Yeah, but Chuck Brown, man, he doing his thing, bro. Okay, there it is. Let's start right there with that one. The first panel. Okay, kids are playing. You got my man with the Superman and the Wonder Woman. She got the lasso, and they just clowning. They being kids, having fun. Yeah. And he tells him, he says, I'm a good guy too, Brad. So they get into it. No, you're not. Then of course somebody throws some water on him.
Messes up his cardboard costume.
Messes up his cardboard
costume.
He
spent time on. He spent time on it.
He ain't have a t-shirt.
Nah. Because this is what's powerful. This is what's powerful about this, dude. And we're close to Halloween, and I talk about this all the time. Yep. Right? When I was a kid, there were no black costumes that you could pick up at your local Woolworths.
No.
You remember the costumes they had back in the day, the plastic costumes.
Oh yeah.
That if you stretched the wrong way, they tear. Mm-hmm. And they had the mask and stuff. They had the Superman, they had Spider-Man, they had Batman. I remember saying, because Batman was my favorite superhero as a kid. And I said, Mom, I want to be Batman for Halloween. Yeah. My mom pulled out the costume and saw this plastic mask that made your face sweat, right? Yeah. And she saw the little white face at the bottom. She's like, oh no.
We're not doing it.
We're not. My parents don't play that. They're like, no. So you know what my mother did? She pulled out a pair of scissors and cut off the white part of the Batman mask. Yeah. And said, there, I fixed your mask for you. And that's how I went out.
Oh, that's
I was
awesome.
I was the first Black Batman.
that's
Right.
that's what's up.
But
That's what's up.
this think about what we're seeing in the scene here, right?
Mhm. Yeah.
The kid, he has a store-bought Superman t-shirt,
Yeah.
but there are no Black Manta, Black superhero merch. There are no
No.
costumes and t-shirts
No.
in this DC universe with Black superheroes. There's no Black Lightning shirt.
No.
You can't dress up as Black Light, go to the store and buy a Black Lightning shirt.
No.
So this kid makes his own costume.
Makes his own costume.
And what does the dude with the Superman shirt do? He throws water on a costume this kid probably spent 2 days putting together by himself. That was just a powerful, powerful scene.
Yeah.
And who shows up? Aquaman.
with a super soaker.
With a suit to add insult to injury.
Boy, white privilege is all over this thing.
It's your fault for playing a bad guy.
And then he yells, "Black Manta, save me from pirates." He's not a bad guy.
And this is where we get into it. So like Black Manta is what? A villain.
Yeah.
Quote unquote villain.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he was on the Super Friends when I was a kid. That's what I knew him as because he was in the Legion of Doom.
Yep.
He's a villain by definition. But what does this black kid say? Black Manta saved me from pirates. He's not a bad guy. And this is where we get into the villain versus anti-hero debate.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
What makes a villain?
A villain
versus an anti-hero.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Herschel and I, shout out to Herschel, had this discussion about the hero versus the anti-villain, the anti-hero. The thing with the anti-hero, a villain is completely self-motivated. They're only motivated by doing evil for the sake of doing evil. I want to make some, as they said in the Batman movie, some people just want to see the world burn.
Mm-hmm.
That's a villain, right?
Right.
An anti-hero usually goes up against villains, but not because some altruistic, I want to do, be an inspiration to little kids and have costumes made of me. It's not because I want to help the greater good. Just, I don't like that dude.
Mm.
I want to beat Lex Luthor, not because I want to help Metropolis, but because I don't like Lex Luthor. He's kind of a douchebag. Yeah. And by the way, he stole some money from me. He owes me some money. I want to get my money back. Completely selfish motivations. That's an anti-hero. Mm-hmm. That's Black Manta. He's a pirate.
Yeah.
Well, he steals stuff from people. He robs people. Well, he's robbing criminals, other villains.
Yeah.
Well, then he's doing the world a favor. Yeah, but he's not doing it for you. He's doing it for himself. And that's what we see in the scene where this kid's talking about, Black Manta saved me. Well, is that in this? Is that in this or the previous issue?
No, it was in this issue here.
Where's the thing with the kid on the boat? Oh, I'm thinking of the previous issue.
Yeah, because this issue, that's kind of like the
the kid he saved. Yeah.
And shout out to DC for being out of order. Because if I don't know if you guys anybody that read the Black Manta book noticed, you kind of hit where Nubia is brought into this comic book.
Yeah, how dope was that? I mean, I wasn't expecting that.
Yeah, but right there, that panel right there with Nubia's in. It said this story takes place after the events of Nubia and the Amazons. So if you're going by quote unquote what you're seeing here, this is all, not that that necessarily we need this information or whatever, but they're letting you know that some stuff happened to why this situation is where it is. So, somebody put their stuff in late.
Right.
So, but we don't want to get into the meat of the story. It suffice to say that Black Manta may actually be Atlantean.
Well, talk about spoiler alert, dude.
Sorry. We said it wasn't spoiled. We said, I didn't want to spoil it, but we're gonna spoil it. Sorry. But anyway, make sure you get issue 3. We'll find out for sure.
What? Manta's not Atlantean. The evidence suggests otherwise. Impossible.
That's what they said. Impossible. But we're actually skipping over some stuff or whatever. But if you go back to where the Nubia, there's a lady that shows up, looks like Storm. There she is. Like Storm with a bad hair day. And
or Storm with more accurate texture to her hair.
Yeah, true. That's a lot of hair though, bro.
That's a lot of hair. So is Nubia got a lot of hair too?
No, but she got it.
In this iteration, she doesn't have as much hair as she normally is depicted.
Yeah. So it's something going on with some kind of material. She's coming in contact with a certain type of material, and it's leading her to something, and at some point they're going to clash. So, but my man's put together, bro, a dope and amazing story, bro. This is going to be fire. I'm actually looking forward to reading issue number 3, unlike some other books.
I told y'all Black Manta was going to be fire. I told y'all.
Yeah. So that's what's up with Black Manta. So if you haven't read it, go catch up. Go get your late pass. Go
get your late pass and go buy that book.
And buy that book, because this
buy both covers.
The story is amazing. The covers, I'm gonna be honest, the covers are a bonus. Okay.
Sanford Green does the cover B's, which is dope.
Yeah. So yeah, just do yourself a favor and pick up Black Manta. Yeah. This is the story. This is the book that everybody should have been talking about. But the book that everybody's talking about has nothing to do with the book itself. It shall remain nameless.
Man. You always instigating, man.
No, you know what I want you to do, Paul? I want you to do me a favor. I'm finna plug myself. I'm feeling myself. Like the Beyonce song. I'm feeling myself. I want you to share your screen. I want you to go to my blog. Go to the Facebook page, and we're gonna talk. we're gonna have a come to comic book Jesus moment. Okay.
I gotta find your blog on the page.
we gotta have this conversation. We're not gonna listen. We're not throwing nobody under the bus. But if somebody gets hit, only a hit dog will holler. Oh man. So we got to talk about this. I'm calling it audible. I'm Aaron Rodgers. I'm calling audible right now. We're gonna get into this quick post I did, and we'll just discuss it a little bit, then we'll get off of this. Okay. Just scroll down to should be the first upcoming issue. So here it is. Okay. Now, in this particular post, I just simply talk about, the excitement we have when it comes to comics. We know a new comic is coming out. We get excited for it. We get pumped about it. We talk about it on these lives. We talk about it in the chats, and we talk about it on our posts, whether it's Facebook or Instagram. We watch YouTube videos. We go all out when it comes to this thing. We get our little money together, and then we go pick up these books. And sometimes if they have 3-4 different covers, we grab them all if we're hardcore, right? Then we take it home and we open it up and scroll down, Paul. I'll let my writing tell the story. You crack open the book and you begin to teleport to another dimension of time and space. You brace yourself because you're getting ready to have your mind blown. The art is fire. Oh my goodness. Bro, I need this on a shirt. How many times have you said that? So then, as the words download into your cerebral cortex, you experience a mild sensation. Almost lukewarm, but you're not too bothered because it's got to get better, right? Right? And then there's some 13, 14 pages later, the mild sensation turns into a pile of meh. And meh for the uninitiated, the thought you had towards something you could basically do without. You can stop sharing it right there, Paul.
All right.
How many comic books have we bought? We've read it, and we could have done without it. And you just got a book. It's a nice cover. Wow. Somebody asked you, what's the story like? I was like, do we want the truth? Or do we want to be nice? Listen. I am grateful and thankful that we have so many fire creators and artists. But when you give me a book, I need you guys to swing for the fences, because you don't know if this is going to be your only shot. And I think sometimes, and people will tell you, well, it's just the first issue. It's just getting started. Yeah, I know, but I don't have another $5 to just get started. Remember that? Now, I'm an old school head, right? And that back in the day, we used to have a hip hop song by a rap group named Houdini. And Houdini had a song said, when we gonna get to the good part, get down to the good part. When we gonna get to the good part? When are we gonna get to the good part? I'm not gonna say no names. I don't feel like roasting nobody tonight.
Why can't we have the Houdini One Love, bro? One love.
You're lucky just to have one.
You're lucky just to have just one. Look, we go through this drought of lack of Black comics, and we finally get something. Can't we just be satisfied with that?
No.
Being greedy, man. You're being greedy.
No.
You want Black comics, and you want the Black comics to be all fire.
No. See, listen. We talk all the time about Black excellence. Okay, I need Black people to be excellent.
You're gonna throw the Black excellence in my face. You're gonna throw the Black.
Listen. It gets thrown in my face all the time too. I mean, listen. Look. We grew up in the hood, and in the hood we have, we are far removed generations from Africa, right? Yet Mama Africa always travels with us, whether we know it or not. In our neighborhoods, everybody has a griot. And for those who may not know what a griot is, those were those elders that could sit you down and tell you a story.
In other words, Richards.
Yeah, someone else like that. But they could captivate you and tell you a story and have you laugh and have you crying and have you mad, all in the same story. These guys, they live in our neighborhoods. They are next door neighborhood. You might be that guy. You might know that guy. You might be close to that guy. But we all have got brothers and sisters in the neighborhood who could tell stories. I bring this up because people don't know that the urban original, I should say the early celebrations of Juneteenth, before they made it a national holiday and it then got commercialized and all that. And it was an urban holiday, meaning that a lot of small Black towns or small towns would celebrate Juneteenth. And a part of, them having barbecue and eating watermelon and drinking red soda water, okay, they would sit down at the feet of the elders, and the elders would tell them stories about life. And that's how we live. You don't get an Eric Jerome Dickey. You don't get a Toni Morrison. You don't get a Christopher Priest without these griots, these people that can tell stories, these people that can captivate an audience. And all I'm asking for, if you are a griot, be a griot. But if you know you're supposed to be doing hair, I don't really need you to write a comic book.
Oh, damn.
In the famous words of Biggie Smalls, UPS is hiring.
Oh man, you black side backhand slapping a lot of people right now.
UPS is hiring. Listen,
don't be mad.
I listen. I'm not. Listen, I want these stories to be amazing, but I'm not gonna look at somebody's face. And someone asked me, "Man, did you read that number one?" Yeah, it was amazing, wasn't it? Yeah. Amazingly bad. I'm trying to be nice here. But here's the thing. When you tell a story, you have to get the person, you have to get your reader engaged. You got to engage me. You got to get you only have a few minutes to get me engaged, to get me interested in what you're saying. Okay? If what you're saying does not captivate me in the first 2 or 3 minutes of me reading your book, homie, that is not my fault. That's on you. And I need us to think about this, because guess what? You don't have all this. Look, bro, we paying $5-6 a comic book today. Okay? How much money have you spent, Paul? Can you confidently say that you spent and it was worth every dime?
Absolutely not.
Thank you. You're messing with the church's money when you.
Absolutely not. I mean, look, you know, it was a game changer for me.
What's that?
That Jeffrey Thorne written Black Panther, King in Black. You want to talk about knocking it out the park in one issue.
One shot.
I mean, and I'm not exaggerating. And y'all know me. If you know me, you know that how big a Black Panther fan I am. I mean, there may be guys out there with bigger collections, but you never have anyone who's got more passion for well, maybe Otis. Passion for this character as I do. That was the single best Black Panther story I've ever read. Like one shot.
Yeah,
that's saying a lot for me. I mean, that had everything.
Dope. And it begs the question.
So the point I'm trying to, for you to do a number one of a character, issue number one, you know, the standard's kind of been set. Like you got to come with it. You got to come with it.
And that's all I'm saying. You cannot put something. Listen. I'm not going to say the name of this comic book, but the character we were talking about, let's just keep it a stack, came out in like 1973.
Really? You being that specific? You might
first book, first comic book, first title. Okay, you know, somebody should have told him, look, this is important. Okay, look, there are people who collect this book and have been looking for this character for decades. Okay, I'm gonna need you guys to go in like this is a heavyweight championship and hit it out the park. And what we got, other than some nice covers, was not. I mean, bro, that was like Roberto Duran and Sugar Ray Leonard. No mas.
You got me
after 2 pages.
You got me thinking now. Look, the views and opinions expressed by Richard Wright does not reflect
the
necessarily
management
the views expressed by Black Comic Lord. Black superheroes forever, any of our affiliate groups and organizations. Of the comic book that Rich is speaking about, I'm not going to name any names. I disagree. I enjoyed it thoroughly for what it is, an introduction to a character that many people are not familiar with. I was fine with it. I enjoyed it thoroughly.
Okay. We should have got a free comic book day.
God damn.
That should have been a free comic. Look, bro, I'm just saying. You can... listen.
We're like having the Icon and Rocket discussion again.
Hey, I'm just saying.
You said the same thing about Icon and Rocket. I was like, Rich, it's an opening book. It's an opening book. It's a slow burn, dude. It's not a race. It's a marathon. Listen. Wait for the next issue. You're like, I don't like this, man.
You know what?
I prefer the old Icon. Old Icon wouldn't have done this. Old Icon would have been better. Like, Rich, give it a chance. Wait for the next issue. Man, Icon 2 comes out.
It's better.
Okay, it's better. It's better. Icon 3 comes out. Man, this is the greatest comic book. I love this. This is fire. I gotta get me multiple copies. Okay.
Listen. I give credit where credit is due. But you get no credit. No, I'm not passing out. I'm not passing out participation trophies, baby. We don't do that.
Rich said it should have went straight to Webtoons.
We don't do that here. Black comic laws, we don't give participation trophies.
Oh Lord.
Listen. I got my Mr. White Man Republican shirt on now. Pick yourself up by your bootstrap. I'm Augustus Freeman, Icon. First.
I Booker T.
Listen. Real talk. I'm going to buy the next issue. But if the next issue isn't better, I am going to spend 30 minutes on a live and roast. Y'all might want to put your wages in now. I'm going to spend a full 30 minutes and roast said book if it ain't good.
Can I at least try to get an interview with these creators first?
Okay.
You burn all of our bridges. One of these creators already has me blocked.
I got some kerosene. I got some gasoline. I got some lighter fluid.
That's the problem. We always keeping it real. We always keeping it 100. We always keeping it a stack, and then we end up getting blocked.
Well, stranger things have happened. Listen, I want the creators that are putting these books out to just understand and know.
That, Deion said, Paul, take the shovel away from Rich.
You listen.
You're digging yourself a hole, bro.
Listen, I just know that it got to get better. We got to do better. That's all I'm saying.
It was good.
It was all right.
Oh, Jesus.
Okay. All right. To your point, Paul, what was good about it?
All right. Let's just be 100. So let's talk about Nubia number 1.
You said the book.
You've already said, the character we've been waiting on since 1973. Like everybody knows what we're talking about. Look, here's the thing. Nubia is a character that has been mired in, I can't even say mired in mediocrity, because mediocrity would be a step up from where she has been. She is the most undervalued historic character, Black character DC's ever had. Understand what I just said. The most undervalued historic Black character DC has had. She, there's this debate of whether she's the first Black superpowered character or not. If she's not the first, she's one of the first between her and Bumblebee. Her origin in Wonder Woman 204 was one in which they came up with this ridiculous story about, I had this clay of white clay and this dark clay, and I made children from them, and they're twins. I kid you not.
Yeah,
I
DC.
tried to explain Nubia's that origin to my daughter, my 10-year-old daughter, and she looked at me like I was just trying to BS her. Like, Daddy, seriously, what is her origin? I was like, no, she's made out of clay, and she had a white clay, a dark. My daughter's like, no, seriously, tell me the origin. I was like, yeah, that's it. That's how bad that origin was. A 10-year-old was like, that's stupid, incredibly stupid. They have
I'm gonna
retconned
tell you
it a
something.
number of times where
DC.
she is from a different island of the Amazons or what have you. So here's the thing. I appreciate the fact that what I appreciate with writers, good writers, they do their homework, they do their research.
Mm-hmm.
Whether you're white, black, whatever, if you
Mm-hmm.
do your research and you've got talent, you can do some good writing.
Mm-hmm.
That's critical. And what these writers did, they did their research and they looked at Wonder Woman #1, Volume 2 from 1987, done by George Perez, the great George Perez, which is I have it here.
I'm actually trying to locate that book now so I can buy it. Remember we had that conversation.
Right here it is.
Okay, yeah, that's
this
it.
issue right here.
Yeah,
this is Volume 2, #1,
Mm-hmm.
Wonder Woman, 1987, George Perez.
Okay.
In this story, they introduced the concept of the Cavern of Souls as being this cavern that has the souls of warriors that can be reincarnated into Amazons. That's pretty much the extent of the explanation.
Mm-hmm.
So these writers said, look, let's run with that. And let's say not just a cavern, let's say it's a well of souls. And that the brightest light that ever shined from that well was Nubia. She's special. And so she is reincarnated from this well of souls. And they've come up with a concept that all Amazons come from the well of souls. And they're created by dying in some violent act which causes them to be reincarnated as warrior women. Brilliant writing device. You can recreate all of these characters at any time. Any woman that dies could potentially become an Amazon. Kind of a cool concept that they introduced for the future of DC. So that means any woman that dies in the DC universe could potentially become an Amazon. That's good writing. They also, by doing it that way, reinvent Nubia. Now we don't know what her backstory is.
Mm-hmm.
Who was Nubia before she died? We don't know. Rich has I don't know if Rich, you want to share what you talked about earlier today, but
well,
we'll get to that point. But we don't technically know who Nubia was before she died. So that gives them, by doing this new way of creating Amazons, they give her a way to completely retcon and reinvent her backstory, and what her powers are, etc. And then we know that there's a big bad under Themyscira. We know that Nubia now is the queen of the Amazons. So Hippolyta, her mother, Wonder Woman's mother, is on the Justice League. Wonder Woman just came back from her multi-dimensional hop. She's back in the DC Prime universe. Nubia is now queen. So now you've got this big push with the 80th anniversary of Wonder Woman, where they're celebrating all the different versions of Wonder Woman. There's a lot of potential there. And what these writers have said, particularly Stephanie Williams, along with Vita Ayala, have said, is we are putting Nubia in the place where she should have been in the very first place. And we're going to change the paradigm of who are the main characters. They're going to, in essence, they're trying to make Nubia a household name. All of that, in conjunction with the fact that you've got a character that is 48 years old, who's never had a solo book, which is absurd, by the way. Finally getting her due, considering her power levels and background, that's significant. It is a significant issue. for a number of reasons. They even wrote something about we included a trans character as someone who's an Amazon. It's a significant issue, and you've got to recognize that. They have laid the groundwork for bigger things to come. And from my personal perspective, you got to play the long game with this, because I think it's going to be, I trust in what these writers are going to do.
This is from a man who was ready to tear off her head from Marauders 13. But hey.
Oh, you don't bring up.
I just triggered him.
Wow.
Okay. All right. The road to heaven is paved with good intent, or I should say the road to hell is paved with good intent.
You had it right the first time.
The road to hell is paved with good intentions. And while the intentions of what they're trying to do is good, I don't necessarily think you were able to discern a lot of that because you're a comic head and you know comics and you know some of the backstory and stuff. However, if you're just somebody that's just picked something up off the street, what is this? Okay. I don't necessarily know or agree that they did a clear job in communicating what you just said. I think the intent is there, but we shall see. We shall see.
That's all I'm saying is we shall see.
We shall see. You know what I'm saying? But
it's a historic book.
Anyway, look, what me and Paul and Herschel were talking about earlier was, and Paul, we got to actually go back further to a conversation. We had a conversation about, remember the conversation we had, and I was telling you I was low key reading some Wonder Woman stuff.
Right. That's and what you should share that with people today.
The Wonder Woman story. Now I have to bring in the earlier story before I actually tell them about.
Get your pens and paper out. Rich is about to share something that's probably if it's not good spec, it's at least very interesting.
Okay, so I have been, kind of like I'm a comic head. I read books, and I'm we got this thing with Nubia coming up, so I'm trying to, find books with her in it in the Wonder Woman run.
Black Comic Lords exclusive. Black Comic Lords.
And so what happened was, I read a book, Wonder Woman, and I didn't even. Here's the funny part, Paul. I didn't even connect the dots till after we had the conversation. The Wonder Woman 74 that I was talking to you about, the one that I was telling you that they had the cover of Wonder Woman, Diana Prince on it, and she was reaching her hands out, and it was some black hands. We thought that was actually Philippus, when actually those hands belong to Nubia. In the Nubia and the Amazons DC fandom website, it lists the first appearance of Nubia in volume 5, issue 75. This iteration of Nubia, first appearance,
let me see if I can pull it up.
Issue 75.
Of which volume?
Volume 5. Rico says, all I have to say is Tiffany Ash better not get cast as Nubia. Oh, that's funny.
There's something about hands. Is this what you're talking about? I don't see any hands
that's
here.
74. 74 is one she's got hands.
This says 75.
That's 75. That's the first appearance. The one before that.
Oh, 74 is the one.
74.
All right, hold on.
Now, I was just randomly reading this book.
Okay.
And if you see it, she's got her hands out now. Black people's hands are, this side of my hands are black, but our hands are the same on the inside. But hey, I don't know what they were trying to say, but they black artists. You can notice a white guy that drew this. So anyway, but that's the picture of 74. Now I was reading this, like I say, there's an artist in here, I mean a character here named Philippus. Now I was trying to find Philippus and Nubia in the same books. And I wasn't even thinking, so something was like, go back and do some research. So I went back and found the research. In the research, it says that Nubia's first appearance, this iteration of Nubia, because this is Prime Earth, this is not a alternate universe, this is actually the main universe that she's in. Her first appearance is Wonder Woman 74. Now you can go ahead and 75, I'm sorry. You can change the screen to 75.
Okay.
Now this is all based on DC fandom. Now I do know that the very first appearance of Nubia is Wonder Woman 204. That is not for debate. That is not, I'm just telling you that according to DC fandom, their information, this iteration of Nubia first appearance is this book, Wonder Woman 75.
So what happens to 74 then, if those are her hands?
I think it was leading up to this first appearance of Nubia. Because there's a black character in 75, in 74, Philippus. And the only reason why I know about Philippus is because Philippus is in the new book. She's in the new book, but she was in some other Wonder Woman material that I was reading. Just like Batman has like 4 or 5 different books, Wonder Woman has not 4 or 5, but at least 3 right now. And some of it is black label stuff, some of it's it's DC, regular DC stuff. But I was just doing this research or whatever, start reading, and sure enough, it's supposed to be her first appearance. So I'm not a spec guy. That's not my ministry. But according to the research, this first appearance is Nubia. We can go through and see if we can find her in the first panel, but this book here says that this is the first appearance. So
here's it right here. It gets worse. Many Amazons allied with Grail. One of them was Nubia.
So, again, it's one of those things. I'm not, me personally. DC has been writing the better books of late, but DC's history is very troubling. It is very troubling when it comes to black characters. When Isabella created or co-created Black Lightning, let me say it like that. When he did that, the whole idea was to make this DC's first black superhero. And they were trying to pitch an idea for a white racist to like become black. And whenever he helped somebody, he could only help black people.
Oh, I remember that. He got superpowers when he turned into a black man, right?
Yeah.
Oh, that was crazy.
This is the kind of stuff that they were on. So as much as I cut for DC's books today, I never will let DC off the hook for the stuff that they've done historically. So, but I mean, Nubia is an important character. And I live by a biblical principle. Much is given, much is required. And so when it comes to, here's the thing. I expect a lot from this book. That's it. I'm not giving you no pass. Especially Vidyala, you've been writing books for a while. This book got to be good. It's got to be better. And that's all I'm getting at. I'm not boo-hooing it completely or whatever. I'm laughing. But at the same time, I recognize that this book you got to show me something. Because again, it's like, okay, if collect, here's the thing about collectors are fickle. And so it's like, okay, it's only six issues, but some guys check out after issue 3. If a comic book doesn't really pull them in by issue 3, it doesn't matter what character it is. Black Panther, don't matter.
You said
Some
you're going to
people-
check out after issue 2. Give it 3.
Right. It got to get better. That's all I can say. It's got to get better. And Rico, I don't think
you're a harsh critic, bro.
I don't think you have to worry about Tiffany Haddish being casted as Nubia. That
would make me upset.
That would be kind of funny.
Hey, can Jade Cargill act? Because she looks like Nubia.
You want to see a picture of this of the chick I was telling you about that looks like Nubia? Go to YouTube, bro. Share your screen.
Oh Lord.
Share your screen.
This better not be something that's going to get us in charge.
No, it's not going to get us in trouble. I'm just going to show you a picture.
Tell me what you put in.
When you go to YouTube, just type in Miss Jade.
Who?
Miss Jade. 2 letters,
Jade?
2 words. Jade. Jade. They favorite. They could definitely be sisters. I say it like that.
This thug chick? Are you serious? Miss Jade. I don't know who this is. I'm just joking.
Okay, keep that. Not her. No. Keep going. This should be Miss Jade. I don't know what this is. Go to Miss Jade comedian, not MIMSJDE. Go to.
There's Ms. Jade Girl Interrupted. This one.
No.
All right, let me type in Ms. Jade, not Miss Jade. Still getting the same thing.
Nah. Okay, go ahead. Go up there. Go back up to the search engine, and put in next to it Big Ja, BIG, and then Ja, like that. No, not 2 H's, just 1 H. Okay, hit the thing.
Not this woman.
No,
that's Big Ja right there.
Her. The other
with the big things here.
No, you stop looking at that. Look
What?
at her, the other chick.
This one with the short hair.
No, the same chick in the same box that you were looking at.
I'm sorry, I was distracted with that.
See, that's why I say you was distracted.
Oh, okay, her.
Yes. Now look at that picture and tell me she don't look like her.
Does she have enough muscles?
She don't have no muscles, but her face, bro. Just look at her face.
Yeah, but look, Nubia's got to be a whole package. I mean,
all right, stop. We don't want to get flagged, okay? Exit the screen, please.
Nubia's got to have a body like Serena Williams. We can't have the same mistake they made with what's the Hogan girl's name? Gal Gadot.
I mean, listen.
You got the skinny woman.
You have
Wonder Woman,
bro. They got the whole Dora Milaje cast of Black Panther to choose from.
True.
So I don't think that's going to be a problem.
Nubia needs to be a physically athletic looking, voluptuous woman.
Yeah,
tall, muscular, but feminine, with a face like that woman that you said.
You've seen the Serena Williams Wonder Woman commercial.
Yeah, with her light skinned self.
And the thing is, can Serena act? That's the question.
No.
So,
she can't.
to me, the sister that played who was the Dora? Oyo.
Yeah,
she could probably be Nubia. Grow some hair.
Yeah,
put a wig on.
Visualize her with hair. She had hair. She was in the same actress was in Wonder Woman. And she's one of the Amazons.
So I'm pretty sure,
but that means she can't be Nubia because she was already an Amazon.
Clarissa Shields, the boxer. They got people that could probably pull it off.
You gotta get actresses, man.
Hey, bro.
There are lots of women that look the part. It's not every woman that can act, though. That's the key.
To me, Gal Gadot is a great Wonder Woman, and I wouldn't want to quote unquote replace her. So, initially I didn't see her as Wonder Woman.
Yeah, she's a good actress. She's just physically, she wasn't what my preference was when I think of Wonder Woman.
No. Well, I mean, you know what I'm saying? To me, you can't be too big, though. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to be like China, okay, from the WWE.
No. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm just talking about, I said athletic. I didn't say she got to be cock diesel. Just she's got to be athletic looking.
Yeah, I get it. I get it. You know, I tell you somebody who's too old that could have been probably a dope Nubia. Angela Bassett.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Angela
Now she
Bassett.
has, when we talk about athletic,
that's what I'm saying.
She's athletic.
She's got the body.
Yeah.
When she played Tina Turner,
20 years ago, she would have done a dope Nubia.
Yeah.
It's amazing. It's 20 years ago, she still would have been in her 40s.
Truthfully, real talk, she probably could do Nubia now. I mean, she don't look like she in her 60s.
No, she does not.
So
she does not. She literally looks 20 years younger than her actual stated age.
That's one fine black woman. We're gonna leave it at that.
Not aging. She is not aging. She found the miracle fountain of youth, cocoa butter, shea butter, whatever jojoba stuff that she's using.
She just drank a lot of water, bro.
She hydrates. She moisturizes.
So anyway, look, I want to switch gears and we're gonna get ready to shut it down, man, because it's after 10. Shout out to Jeffrey Thorne and Green Lantern. That's a dope book. It's getting better.
You see that the last issue?
Yeah. I'm enjoying the second story with Teen Lantern and Simon Baz, man, as well.
Look, I enjoyed it. I think a critical issue you have to have if you're a Green Lantern fan was the annual they came out with Jessica Cruz.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That was some of those. Did Jeffrey Thorne write that? Did he write that? Do you know?
I think he did. I'm not sure.
Because that was some damn fine writing.
It was
writing it from Sinestro's point of view gives you an entirely different view of both Sinestro and the Yellow Lanterns.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was just some of the most dope writing I've seen.
It convinced you why Jessica Cruz became a Yellow Lantern.
It reminds me of that line from Star Wars where Obi-Wan Kenobi's talking about, well, you know, good and evil is all relative based on your point of view.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's what that was all about. The Yellow Lanterns are vilified, but it's like, should they be though?
And that's good writing, ladies.
That's good writing. That's good writing.
So anytime a reader can sympathize or have empathy toward a villain.
Jeffrey Thorne was not the writer. It was Ryan Cady, Cady.
Okay, might be somebody we need to look out for. But
that's someone we need to look out for because that was some damn good writing.
You know, so I personally, you know, enjoyed it. Both stories were dope. John Stewart's finally got some powers.
Powers. Now let's talk about that. Here's one of the problems I have. We talk about legacy characters.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, there are a lot of people on both sides of the debate of legacy characters. I don't take it all that seriously, personally, just me personally. I mean, I understand the arguments, and I agree wholeheartedly that the preference is for new, original Black characters. That's everyone. I don't think there's any disagreement from any fans about that.
No. We
all want original, new Black characters that are not tied to a prior white predecessor.
Mm-hmm.
Facts. We all want that.
Mm-hmm.
But some people are bothered by it more than others for whatever reason.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the thing with Green Lantern is it's kind of a unique situation because Green Lantern is not one guy. It's a corps. It's a designation. It's like calling someone police officer.
Right.
So there's more than one police officer in the corps, and you can have multiple people be Green Lantern.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not. It's hard for me to simply label these characters as legacy characters and just leave it at that. It's more complicated than that because there's a whole core of characters that have that name. Anyway, that being said, when you have these characters in which they have their predecessors that are primarily known by that name, i.e., Green Lantern, Spider-Man, etc.,
Right.
the Black iterations are known by their real names. Like we don't call Miles Morales Spider-Man, we call him Miles Morales. We don't call John Stewart Green Lantern, we call him John Stewart.
Right.
You know, even James Rhodes was Iron Man at one point.
Right.
But what did James Rhodes do? He got a new suit that wasn't called Iron Man Part 2. It's called War Machine.
Yep.
He got something to separate. So now people, even though James Rhodes started out as Iron Man for a while, he was Iron Man for a while.
Right.
That's what started me to collect Iron Man, was the fact that James Rhodes was in the suit. I was like, brother's in the suit, I'm not gonna collect it. But he got his own separate identity. I wonder and hope that what Jeffrey Thorne is doing here is that this may be a bigger move than what we even think about. That this is John Stewart getting powers that are separate from his ring, separate from being a Green Lantern, and he will have a new name. He will no longer just be known as Green Lantern John Stewart. Give him some other name.
Yeah.
You know, Green Power Guy, whatever. I don't care what it is. Just give the brother his own name. So,
yeah. Well, I mean, here's the thing. I think that whatever they do, they have to figure something out with the Green Lanterns because the battery is gone.
Yeah, but that can always come back. I'm talking about a permanent change.
Yeah.
That will redefine John Stewart as his own man.
Well, I don't know how many people are actually, here's the thing. We're talking about Green Lantern. And, you know, listen, legacy characters, I don't consider John Stewart a legacy character because you're right. You know, we're talking about a core. We're talking about a group of cops, galactic cops, if you will. And so it's almost, as much as I would want everybody to support this story of Green Lantern, okay, I recognize that there are some that are not, and they just happen to be a pale face. You know, it is what it is. People's preferences are what their preferences. I don't know how good the book is doing. I do know one of the shop owners that I talked to, that I go to, said that it wasn't selling. And yet, you know, here we are, issue 7 or 8. And so it's moving along, and it's not a limited series. It's supposed to be an ongoing title. So I'm hoping that we get at least 12 issues. If we go beyond 12, I'll be happy. But I don't know. I just don't know. I think it's been a dope story all throughout, you know, even with him not having rings. I think it was an interesting take on it. But I do know that Joe Mullen and Teen Lantern have kind of stole the show. I don't know if that was by design or.
Yeah, I find their story more interesting and compelling than John Stewart's story has been thus far.
Yeah. Just
like you weren't too excited about Nubia. I haven't been overly excited by the Green Lantern. It's just been, it's not that it's bad, it's just slow in terms of the John Stewart side of the story.
Yeah.
I mean, you can summarize everything that's happened. We're 7 issues in, and you can summarize everything within 3 sentences. Green Lantern thing got blown up. He got sent on a mission in deep space. He has no powers. Goes to a planet, saves some people without his powers, and that's about it. That's everything that's happened in 7 issues.
Well, I mean, but again, you know what I'm saying? The book is Green Lantern. So it's not John Stewart, it's Green Lantern. So it's like, okay, we're getting these other Green Lanterns, you know. I really dug the story with the Teen Lantern, the Gauntlet actually having
right
a defense mechanism where
Yeah,
you know,
I've enjoyed the Teen Lantern story better than the John Stewart story, to be honest with you.
yeah. So you know, I'm kind of I'm digging it. I'm enjoying it. I got the Sinestro cover B. I think that's fire, bro. The
Yeah.
sketch, I
Yeah.
think that is amazing. So you know, man, I it is what it is. I think that it's a I think it's a dope story. And keep buying it, guys. Keep buying, supporting it. Now,
Oh, you can't say that to Nubia too.
uh, keep. I think I'm gonna be
Stop. Stop. Collect.
buy it.
Buy Black comics. Read Black comics. Support Black comics. Support Black comic creators.
That's what's up. That's what we talk about. But I am not going to roast this next book. But I got nothing good to say about it. Clans of Bellari.
Oh my God, that's one we can agree with. I had such high hopes for this book.
Talk about being
let down.
I mean, we literally were dropped off a cliff into nothingness.
So here's the deal. Here's the deal with this. We've had two sci-fi independent Black books come out in recent months. We had Eve and Clans of Bellari.
That's not the only ones. We had Basilisk.
Basilisk, the jury's still out on Basilisk. It's not done yet.
You had don't forget about was it Everfrost?
Yeah, Everfrost is done now.
Yeah.
But it didn't have this. All right. So here's the thing. Eve started out really well, but you could clearly tell in the final issue it was rushed. It was rushed. It had a rushed ending. It clearly needed at least one more issue to wrap up properly in an unrushed manner. But fine, at least it ended. Clans of Bellari, which is a sci-fi book, literally it could have been made into a movie. This is the type of book that started out so well. I was thinking this book could be optioned because you're on some Ender's Game type storyline type thing.
Yep, it was that good.
It was that good. And you get to this final issue, which I didn't even realize it was the final issue when I picked it up, issue 4. And not only is it all rushed, but unlike Eve, it didn't end, it just stopped. Understand what I just said? It did not end. You're reading the story, they're reading a climax, and it stops. And you turn the next page, and the next page is, we'd like to thank all of our fans for supporting us. We enjoyed this run. We hope that someday we'll be back. And you're like, what the deuce?
Yeah.
It just stopped.
Yeah. Aftershock literally put me in shock.
Nothing. I mean,
it's
like our budget ran out.
Yeah. I mean, and that's what happens though. I mean, clearly they were over budget or there was no real end in sight. They just said, we're done. We're not writing anything else. We're not doing no more art. I don't know. Something had to happen for them to end it that way. There's no way they turned that in and was like, yeah, congratulations, guys, whatever. Something happened. I don't know if they just didn't have any money to budget another issue or whatever. I don't know. I don't care. I just know that we were on this ride and all of a sudden we were on the ride. We were riding. We went down. We went up, then we went down, and we were turning around, and we was getting ready to go up for the loop, and the ride was over. Now you find your best way to get back to the. We was in mid loop. They stopped the book. They said, "Okay, all right, the ride is over." What you mean over? You got to get us out of here. No. You got to find your way down there. Just kind of climb out. It crawled down. That's
Very
what
good
we were
analogy.
given. So, and maybe I read that book before or after Nubia. I don't know. It could have been residue from being pissed. I don't know. But what I do know That was trash. They were trash for that. So
Yeah. And the
that
book
was
started out so well.
yeah.
The art was good, the story was good, the
Mhm.
characters were engaging.
Yes.
There was world building in the
Yes.
book,
Absolutely. And
and it just
stopped. Literally stopped.
I haven't been that pissed off in reading a comic book in a while. I mean, I was so pissed off. I think I immediately like called out to Rich, like, "Did you read this? Like,
Yeah, you did. It's like,
this book was trash."
yeah. It's like, wow. Couldn't believe it, but that I'm flipping the page looking for it. I was like, did they tear a page out the book? This is it. So, what I'm saying? Listen, sometimes comics is like Vegas. It's a risk, so. But, guys, it's almost 10:30, 11:30 where Paul is. So we're going to close out. Our last book I want to talk about is Nita Hard's Nightmare Blog.
Oh, I haven't read it yet.
You haven't read it yet?
Mine's still on the shipment list.
Oh, that's right. It's still on the boat somewhere.
I tried to actually pick it. I anticipated that you'd want to talk about it. I went to my LCS to pick it up. They had a cover that I did not want with the Cthulhu character.
Yeah.
I don't need to scare I had my daughter with me. I did not let to pick that up and have my daughter look at that like, "Daddy, what is that? That's scaring me."
Yeah, it's very, very, very dark story.
Yeah.
If you love Philadelphia, you are going to fall madly in love with this book. It's out of the Philadelphia universe.
Mm-hmm.
And
a prequel.
Yeah, prequel. And so I anticipate big things for this book. Kind of a quick read initially, but I won't spoil it and anything like that. But suffice to say that if you read Philadelphia and you love Rodney Barnes, this is going to be your jam. For real. The imagery in this book is very, very dark, however. So if you're easily spooked, this might not be for you. This is a real horror comic.
So this is a turn the lights on in the middle of the night as you read it.
Yeah, you don't want to read this and go to bed on this, bro. It's pretty dark. So just telling you right now, but I enjoy horror. But some stuff is like, man, that's going a little too far. Or you have to just be more discerning and don't get caught up in it, because I think that's the thing about it. This is actually a nightmare blog. And so you're getting this story from this perspective where, monsters are real. And, Rodney Barnes, he's doing his thing, man. That's all I can say. He's doing his thing. So I just hate, man. I gotta spend extra Ciabatta to get the Elysium Garden stuff. I'm kind of bothered by that,
Gotta join Substack, man.
I know he got to get his paper. I'm not tripping. I know he got to get his money. So, but yeah, that's where we are with that. But listen, man, it is 10:31, and we've been on here for 2.5 hours, and so I want to thank you, Paul, for hanging out with me on tonight. We talked a little bit about Black Lightning. We talked a little bit about
finances.
We talked a little bit about a comic I tried not to name, but we wound up naming, and we talked about it for a little while. And Rich is gonna give it another chance.
2 more chances. I'm getting the whole run regardless. But
yeah. I'm going. You know what I'm gonna do? If it's terrible, I'm going. I'm gonna do a video. I'm gonna do a live. It's gonna be like.
It's not gonna be terrible. Stop being so negative. It's not gonna be terrible.
It's gonna be 30 seconds. It's gonna be me frying a meat patty at a George Foreman grill. And the caption is gonna be about to grill something. Stay tuned. No, I'm not gonna take it that far.
I got faith in my sister Stephanie.
Yeah. So yeah.
I got faith in them. They're not gonna let us down.
Look, I don't know what's going on in
they know how important this book is. I don't know
what's going on in Themyscira, but you're scaring me. Pun intended. But that's what's up, y'all. Want to thank y'all, man, for hanging out with me tonight. You know what I'm saying? And, we're going to chop it up later with y'all. We want you guys to have a wonderful week. Enjoy yourselves. Be safe. Love you. Nothing you can say or do about it. Until next time, catch my man Paul on Friday nights with my man Mark. And they'll be chopping it up about all things comics and even some Black Panther stuff from time to time.
And apparently Flash Gordon, too.
Yeah, you get it all right here, Black Comic Lords. We like to dip our toes in the ivory sands.
I apologize to you guys in advance. I know. Look, let me just say this. Mark and I are old friends. I mean, we've known each other over 20 years. He's my boy. And these things we film on Friday is really just the two of us. Like, I haven't talked to him all week, so Friday is where we catch up. We're just filming us do our normal discussions. Like, you guys aren't even watching us, basically. What we talk about is what he and I talk about, just generally speaking, anyway. And we're just drinking as we're doing it. It's our happy hour together, our virtual happy hour, where we're just talking comics and movies and TV shows and whatever comes across our addled minds. So we got a little off path this past Friday, talking about Flash Gordon, a film that we both enjoy. So I apologize for that. Kind of.
Well, you know what? Around here, we thank you for being yourself, man. So, Mark included. So, anyhow, Black Comic Lords, Black Superheroes Forever crew, we want to thank you again for tuning in with us, for Dion, Rico, Amir, and the rest of you guys, Duran. I want to thank y'all for just hanging out with us. We really
Ricky
are appreciative of that. I want to shout out to my man James Thomason too. James Thomason sent me a wonderful AOK, and I just want to thank him in this space and for just showing the brother some love and
always throws us a lot of support. Appreciate that.
A lot of support. So thank you from the bottom of my heart, for real. And with that, we're going to get out of here, man. Love you, man. We'll talk with you later. You take care of yourselves. Y'all look for a popped up sitting low show. Well, we might tear down another comic book creator, or we might build one up. Either way, we're going to be who we are, and that's what's up. Talk to y'all later. Y'all be blessed.
Yo,
Peace.
Peace.